Welcome to Punish Radio. Let's talk music. This is your host, Lily Sophia Davies. Today we are talking about the history of jazz music in Paris, the brilliant, dazzling, luminescent city of light. So let's get started. Jazz, a genre born in the melting pot of New Orleans at the turn of the 20th century, quickly transcended its American roots to become a global phenomenon. Among the many cities outside the United States that embraced jazz, Paris stands out as one of the most significant. The French capital became a haven for jazz musicians, a place where the music could flourish, evolve, and intermingle with the rich cultural tapestry of the city. The history of jazz in Paris is a story of artistic exchange, social transformation, and enduring passion for a music that speaks to the heart of the human experience. So, what was it like in the early days when jazz arrived in Paris? Well, jazz first arrived in Paris during World War I, brought by African-American soldiers stationed in France. These soldiers, known as the Harlem Hellfighters, were part of the 369th Infantry Regiment, and they introduced Parisians to the new, syncopated rhythms and improvisational style of jazz. The music quickly captivated the French public, who were eager for new cultural experiences after the devastation of the war. In the 1920s, the presence of jazz in Paris solidified as African-American musicians, drawn by the city's vibrant arts scene and its relative racial tolerance, made their way to the French capital. One of the most famous of these early jazz musicians was Sidney Bechet, a clarinetist and saxophonist who would become one of the leading figures in Parisian jazz. Bechet, along with other musicians such as Josephine Baker, who incorporated jazz into her performances, helped establish Paris as a key center for the genre. The 1920s and 1930s, often referred to as the Jazz Age, were a golden era for jazz in Paris. The city's cafes, nightclubs, and dance halls were filled with the sounds of jazz, and it became the soundtrack for a generation of Parisians seeking to escape the traumas of war and embrace a new, modern world. The Montmartre district, in particular, became a hub for jazz. Legendary venues such as Le Grand Duc, Chez Bricktop, and La Coupole hosted performances by both American and French jazz musicians. These venues were frequented by artists, writers, and intellectuals, making jazz an integral part of the cultural life of Paris. During this time, jazz in Paris began to develop its own unique character. French musicians such as Django Reinhardt, a pioneering guitarist, and Stéphane Grappelli, a virtuoso violinist, formed the Quintet de Haut Club de France, which blended American jazz with European musical traditions. This fusion of styles created a distinctive Parisian jazz sound that was both innovative and deeply rooted in the city's cultural heritage. The outbreak of World War II in 1939 brought challenges to the jazz scene in Paris. The Nazi occupation of France led to restrictions on jazz music, which the occupiers deemed degenerate. However, jazz continued to thrive underground, with clandestine performances and gatherings keeping the spirit of the music alive. Musicians and fans alike used jazz as a form of resistance, a way to assert their freedom and individuality in the face of oppression. After the war, Paris experienced a jazz renaissance. The city once again became a magnet for American jazz musicians, many of whom found greater artistic freedom and appreciation in Paris than in the United States. Iconic figures such as Miles Davis, John Coltrane, and Thelonious Monk performed in Paris during the 1950s and 1960s, often collaborating with local musicians. The left bank, particularly the Saint-Germain-des-Prés neighborhood, became the epicenter of the post-war jazz scene. Clubs like Le Tabou and Le Club Saint-Germain became legendary for their all-night jam sessions, attracting a mix of musicians, intellectuals, and bohemians. Jazz was not just music. It was a way of life, embodying the spirit of existentialism and the desire for freedom and self-expression. In the latter half of the 20th century and into the 21st century, jazz in Paris continued to evolve. The city's jazz scene has remained vibrant, with new generations of musicians pushing the boundaries of the genre while remaining connected to its roots. Festivals such as the Paris Jazz Festival and Jazz à la Villette celebrate the diversity and creativity of jazz, drawing audiences from around the world. Today, Paris is home to numerous jazz clubs, such as Le Duc des Lombards, New Morning, and Sunset Sunside, where both established and emerging artists perform. The city's conservatories and music schools also play a crucial role in nurturing new talent, ensuring that jazz remains an integral part of Parisian culture. Today, jazz is a living legacy in Paris. It is everywhere. The history of jazz in Paris is a testament to the city's enduring love affair with the genre. From its early days as an exotic import to its current status as a pillar of Parisian cultural life, jazz has left an indelible mark on the city. The sounds of jazz continue to resonate in the streets, clubs, and hearts of Parisians, a reminder of the power of music to transcend boundaries and bring people together. In Paris, jazz is not just a genre, it is a living legacy, a symbol of creativity, freedom, and the timeless connection between the past and the future. Okay, so that's our presentation. So if you like this information, please like, subscribe, follow, and share with your social media. It helps us get the word out and keeps the music playing. Speaking of music playing, we leave you now to enjoy our latest Punish Studios release from the jazz band Parisian Velvet. This sensual song is called Yvette. As they say in Paris, profitez du bonbon pour les oreilles.
In walks Yvette with a cigarette and a smile on her face, just like she owns this place. She's only 21, Yvette just wants to have fun and make tons of cash. This I understand. 2, 3, 4. Yvette, why don't you make me a bet that your eyes will speak to me? Well, tell me, what do you really see? Just another Joe? It's okay, I already know that it's just your job, and I am another slob. Yvette, I'll pay, so don't ever stop, and I don't care if they all the cops. Yvette, you're the soul, I'm telling you. I see Yvette, 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 I want you to dance for me and take all my money. It's okay, I don't care, I just don't want to feel your hair all over my face, 'cause you're the best in this whole place. So let me feel your lovely skin and let the love affair begin. Yvette, why don't you make me a bet? Let your eyes will speak to me. Well, tell me, what do you really see? Just another Joe? It's okay, I already know that it's just your job, and I am another slob. Yvette, I'll pay, so don't ever stop, and I don't care if they all the cops. Yvette, you're the soul, I'm telling you. Yvette, 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 I want you. So don't ever stop, and I don't care if they call the cops. Yvette, you're the soul, I'm telling you. Yvette, 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 I want you. How about you? Do you feel it too? Or am I just another fool? She's the best who fell for you. Never forget like all the others do. You screamed in my surprise. I see the glow in your eyes. I know you feel it too. Never forget what we don't do. For one moment in time. Oh, 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 oh. The perfect goes all mine. Oh, oh, oh. Never forget. Oh, I'll never forget. Oh, Yvette. But her real name was Julie.